이번에는 나라 밖 소식입니다. 박해받는 곳곳의 기독교인들을 위해서 올해 말 기독교 지도자들이 대규모 집회를 마련할 예정이라고 합니다. 집회가 모스크바에서 열리는 이유에 대해서 의아해하는 사람들이 많다고 하는데요. 그 이유가 무엇인지 지금부터 전해드립니다.
We're doing this in Moscow, and people will ask me, well, why of all the places would you go to Moscow? The reason is because under communism, the church in Russia suffered more under 70 years than any church I know in modern history. The priest of the Orthodox Church, they lost about 99% of their priests. They were executed. Baptists, Pentecostals, Catholics, they were taken out and shot. And so here is a church that understands and has lived through persecution. Why would we want to have a conference in like the United States where we've never had that kind of persecution, or go to another country where they haven't had that kind of? Let's have it in a country where the people understand and they have lived through it themselves, and that's why we're going to Moscow.
What put this on your heart to organize?
When you see heads being chopped off, when you see people being burned alive, when you see people put in cages and drowned. We work in the Middle East. We work a lot in Iraq. We have worked for years in Syria, and I get the reports back from the churches of what's happening to them. We've got to do something to draw attention to the suffering church around the world. And so much of that is now under Islam. But we also see it under secularism here in this country, where gays and lesbians will target bakers and people like that, so that they can put them out of business, use the law to put them out of business. And that's why it's so important to get lawmakers in there who can help change these laws so that Christians aren't persecuted because they stand for their faith or because they want to live out their faith, and they're not going to be penalized and put out of business.
What do you hope to accomplish?
Draw attention to the world to focus on this, and hopefully the nations of the world will see the importance of standing behind people and defending them. And Prince Charles said several years ago that Christianity will be extinct in the Middle East in the next 5 years. At the rate it's going, next 5 years. The Christian community will cease to exist in Syria, where it has been since the Apostle Paul went to Damascus. The church has been in Syria since the Apostle Paul, and it's being wiped out. The church has been in Iraq. The church was in Saudi Arabia up till a few centuries ago, and Islam has finally destroyed the church and has killed the Christians, and they had large Jewish communities in that part of the world. They have been destroyed, and so we're seeing now the elimination of the church throughout the Middle East by Islam, and they call it radical Islam. You can call it whatever you want. It's Islam.
What can Christians around the world do to support the summit?
I think pray, but we've got church leaders from about every country in the world. We'll have over 1,000 leaders coming to Moscow. And the Orthodox are going to bring all of their leadership from the Orthodox world. It'll be the first time that anything like that has happened with evangelical Christians. The Catholic Church has said they're going to support it, that they're going to be sending their representatives to it as well. So it's Christianity. Now, people may condemn me for, well, Franklin, you're hobnobbing with these people who are not evangelicals. That's okay. They represent Christ. They represent the cross.